We turn now to the critical U.S. midterm elections taking place next Tuesday. Based on the U.S. Census, more than 65,000 Latinos turn 18 each month, and Latino voters across the U.S. are hoping to exercise a bigger political voice on November 4th. In one state in particular, Arizona, according to the 2014 state election report, the number of registered Latino voters who have signed up for early voting tripled since 2010. The 7th congressional district in Arizona is up for grabs following the retirement of Ed Pastor after more than 20 years in the office. The two candidates facing off are Democratic candidate Ruben Gallego and Libertarian candidate Joe Cobb, and they both join us from there. For more on the midterms, we're happy to welcome both of them, Ruben Gallego as well as Joe Cobb from Phoenix. Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
I appreciate having you. You know, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to enforce a little bit of a time limit. I'm going to give both of you a chance to use 30 seconds and tell me, if you're elected to this seat, what you plan to do to reach across the aisle and help get things done in D.C. The public approval rating of Congress is at a historic low. People are tired of the logjam. So, Ruben, let's start with you. Here goes your 30 seconds. What will you do to help get things working in Washington?
Well, what I did at the State House as assistant minority leader, I reached across the aisle and found Republicans that were willing to look at the facts and say, you know what, we need Medicaid expansion. And I found those good Republicans that really cared about the state of Arizona and the economics of Arizona and the health of Arizona. We, formed a relationship, and that's why we're one of the few states that, even though we're Republican controlled by the House and in the Senate and by the governor, we were able to pass a Medicaid expansion. So you just have to really keep trying, find the people across the aisle you can, find some common ground with. And find an issue to work on.
That's your 30 seconds. Now, Joe, your turn.
Yes, I'm a libertarian, not a Republican, and not a Democrat. Since I'm not a member of either one of the two big party caucus groups that are logjammed and deadlocked, I can work inside the Republican Party to split off those people who believe in libertarian ideas, as I do, such as open immigration, letting workers come to the United States without a quota limit. And I can also work with the Democrats like Ruben, who already agree with me, except, he won't be there. I'll be there instead. That's why I could actually put together a coalition, a bipartisan coalition.
Okay.
I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat.
All right, great. Your 30 seconds are up. Okay, so now we're off and running. Let me go back and then just talk about the issues that are important in your part of the country. Of course, there is a national conversation about the importance of immigration reform. That is especially true in the southwestern part of this country. Ruben, how disappointed are you that the president put this off the agenda until after the election? And how committed are you to get something done if you are to make it to Washington?
Well, I am disappointed. I think for the betterment of the country and for pushing comprehensive immigration reform forward, we should have passed an executive action in the meantime. But let's not forget that the reason comprehensive immigration reform has not happened right now is because the Republican-controlled House, Speaker Boehner, has not allowed this bill onto the floor. This is a compromise bill. Both Democrats and Republicans in the Senate came up with and worked up a good compromise, and they should just let this come to the floor. And if it was brought to the floor, it would pass. There's enough Democrats and Republicans to pass it. But as soon as I get there, I'm going to restart whatever we can, try to form the proper coalitions we need to do, both in the business community, our religious communities, across the aisle, and whoever else we have to make sure that we do get comprehensive immigration reform passed. But in the meantime,
Joe, let me jump in there because I don't want us to run out of time without him at least responding to this. Joe, do you have a passion for this? Of course, the Senate were able to come up with a bipartisan bill, and the House just simply wouldn't do it. What's the sense of urgency that you feel for this issue?
I feel it's one of the most critical issues of all time. In the first place, the Social Security Trust Fund is going bankrupt. We need more young workers. There's absolutely no reason to have a quota on allowing workers to come to the United States. I advocate having an unlimited number of work visas for anybody that will come to a legal border station and pass a health check and a background check. We need young workers. It's the most important thing for our economy. We need economic growth. So I would work with the Republicans and the Democrats who already support open immigration. The Senate bill is like a compromise. It's a trap. The two parties are deadlocked. They won't compromise. What you need to do is file a discharge petition, which I would do on the first day in Congress, And then I would start getting signatures on the discharge petition. Once you have half of the members of the House of Representatives signing the discharge petition, the leadership must schedule a vote. I would introduce legislation to do exactly the narrow thing I want, getting rid of the quota on work visas. And then we will get almost all the Democrats and about a third of the Republicans that believe in libertarian ideas secretly because they're afraid to run as an open libertarian, but they do believe in the free market.
All right, Joe, let me jump in there. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time, and I again want to give both of you a chance to respond to this, and that is, tell me what your constituents are, or they're not your constituents yet, but tell me what the people are saying as you've been out on the campaign trail about what's important to them in this upcoming Congress in terms of agenda. And you only got about 10 seconds. Joe, go first.
I think that people have responded to my immigration message, and they give me, raised hands and high fives. I'm very pleased with the enthusiasm I got. Obviously, I don't talk about any issues that we would quarrel over, like taxes and welfare. That'll come later.
Okay, and Ruben, you get the last word.
People are actually talking about education and healthcare, making sure we continued our investments in there, and immigration reform.
Oh, very good. You stayed within the time limit. That's an extra star for you. Ruben Gallego, Joe Cobb, thank you very much. We wish you both the very best. Thanks for coming on the show.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
And you're watching Arise America.